Alrighty, so our prospect previews are going to continue on today with Porter Martone. Martone is a very exciting prospect. He's the first right winger that we have covered in these previews, and is somebody who has that offensive side to his game, but he can also be pretty damn mean. That's somebody that I've really kind of gathered here with Porter Martone. So, just diving into some of his basic info here, first and foremost, he was born October 26th, 2006 in Peterborough, Ontario. He's 6'3", 191 centimeters. He weighs 205 pounds / 93 kilograms. He's a right wing, as I mentioned, and he's a right shooting right wing as well. This guy is very exciting. And he's somebody who has that offensive side to his game, has that good creative speed, has that really good talent in passing and making plays. But he can also be a physical hard hitter, and he's a consistent hard worker as well. And you guys will know me, I always respect a consistent hard working player. So, some of his draft rankings that we're gathering here, let's just go down the list. Consolidated ranking has him at 4th overall. Elite Prospects 3rd. Bob McKenzie, Craig Button, Daily Faceoff have him at 4th. The NHL Central Scouting in North America, or for North American skaters, is 6th. They have him ranked at 6th. And then Recruit Scouting and Dauber Prospects has him 4th. For me, I have him 3rd. I have him 3rd in this draft. I have him going top 3 to the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll get into that here in just a moment. But I love everything about Porter Martone. I love his skating. I love his speed. I love his creativity. Just everything about this guy is just so exciting for an NHL player who could be in the NHL next season. So just hopping right into things here. He played with the Mississauga / Brampton Steelheads when he was in the OHL. Again, Brampton was the same team, just like a couple minutes down the road, which is funny. But during his time there in his rookie season, played 60 games, had 33 goals, 38 assists for 71 points. Not bad for a draft -1 year. I thought that was a pretty good year from him. I think that he had a good season, a good rookie year at that, provided assists, made the passing plays. But this past year was the year where, yeah, he solidified himself as a top 5 pick. 57 games played, 37 goals, 61 assists for 98 points. Was nearly a 100-point scorer this past year. Had almost 40 goals. Played phenomenal. Again, like just seeing how this guy can play offensively, it's super entertaining to watch. And then his total numbers with Mississauga / Brampton, 117 games, had 70 goals, 99 assists for 169 points this past season, this past 2 seasons with the team. This guy is just, again, like I'm saying things on repeat here. He is just so exciting as a player. And just watching him in his highlights, you got to see it to believe it. Like just the plays that he makes, the offensive knowledge he has, and even the way he can move at such a big height. Like he's 6'3". I think again, like, you see some of the guys who are like 6 foot, 5'11". They move fast. Martone isn't like, the greatest when it comes to skating. He doesn't have that motor that other teams that other players have, but he's still a really good and fast player and can move the puck as well. So he really doesn't let his speed kind of get to him there as a guy who has really good mobility with the puck. He's played time with World Juniors, with Team Canada, played 7 games in the U18, had 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points. I've come to notice that the U18s are way more high scoring, and then the U20s played 3 games this past year, had 1 goal. Again, I think he got injured during the World Juniors, so again, he missed some time there, didn't get to play for the rest of the year. And as well as that too, they were like pulling him out of the lineup as well. I don't get it, honestly. I don't get the Martone disrespect. But again, there were a lot of people getting disrespected during the World Juniors this past year. So I'm not terribly surprised, to be honest with you. And then what's ironic is that he actually played games in the World Championship this past year. Only played 2 games, didn't have any points, but he was the only player in this entire draft class that did that. So I think, again, that does matter. He was more or less like a depth player on that team, was like kind of like a 13th forward, but did get in there for some games. I do think that matters. Again, you see him, you see a lot of prospects, they don't tend to really go out and participate in the World Championships, Martone did. And I think that might actually boost his draft value as somebody who, somebody will see that and be like, hey, this guy's trying to play as much as he can. And I think I really respect that. So I like Martone from that perspective. Obviously, too, your team doesn't go that far in the Memorial Cup. You tend to have some time on your hands. So I guess he did try to get some experience there with some of the players like Crosby and Celebrini and a couple of the guys who pretty good NHLers. Nathan McKinnon, Kel McCarr, not bad. Decent guys. Nothing really too big there. Looking at his strengths, he has really good speed. Again, I think that his speed, it can be worked on. I'm just going to say that right now. His skating could be a lot better. We'll get into that here in a moment. But his overall speed, it's pretty damn good for a kid who was just fresh out of the OHL. A great scorer, can move the puck very well, has a nifty shot. He has really good passing, too. That's what he's known for. But, again, his shooting and his passing are just off the charts phenomenal. So, again, I got to just give him a lot of credit there. Really good playmaking. Again, you're a really good passer. You tend to be a really good playmaker. It all just kind of lines up together. Again, everything about this guy's game is exciting. And then as well as that, too, he's a consistent hard worker and also has great IQ. I think, again, those are the two things that matter the most to me. You can have the talent. You can have the talent all you want. But if you don't have the hardworking skill and the great hockey IQ, it doesn't really matter. And again, I think that those things, if you don't have those things, I don't think you can make it in the NHL. And Martone, you always respect a hard worker, a guy who will give it his all no matter whether his team is up 8-1 or down 8-1. He's always giving it his best, and I really respect that out of somebody like Martone, and I really respect that out of NHL players in general. So I like that from him a lot, and that's why he's one of my more favorite guys heading into this draft. Some things that he can improve on, though. His skating overall could be better, like his edge work, and I think his overall just skating mobility could be better, but it's still pretty decent for a guy who's 6'3". Forcing plays, I feel like, again, you see this with a lot of other prospects. I said this with Hagens and Misa, but I think you could improve on the forcing plays a little bit more. And then his defensive game as well. Again, I'm going to say this right here, right now. You have this skill and this hardworking mobility. You're not going to be that good when it comes to playing defensive side of your game. But it's something that with coaching and with just learning, you can be a lot better with it. Now we're going to take a look at some excerpts from the Elite Prospects Draft Guide and the Hockey News' Draft Guide as well. First and foremost, the comparables that we're seeing. So the best case for Porter Martone, according to the Hockey News, is Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk. That is somebody who is a really good scorer, has been phenomenal in these Stanley Cup Finals and these playoffs overall for the Florida Panthers, but also has that side to him that makes you just despise him. And I love that from Matthew Tkachuk. And if Porter Martone is anything like Tkachuk, I think there should be teams as high as San Jose calling for this guy. Seriously, I really do think that if he's like a Matthew Tkachuk level player, you want this guy on your team. You absolutely want a kind of guy like Porter Martone on your roster. And I would love for him to drop to 6. I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan. For those who don't know, I would love for him to go to the Philadelphia Flyers at 6th overall. I just don't know if he gets there, honestly. I could see a world where he does, but I don't know. With the way this kid has his overall skill, I genuinely don't know, to be honest with you. Now, reading some things here from the Hockey News, or not the Hockey News, the Elite Prospects Draft Guide, which I have on this little sheet of paper. It has Martone at, quote, a special talent whose passing vision and tactical genius could put him up amongst the NHL's elite playmakers, a unique combination of hard and soft skills with top-line upside. So, it also says here, too, he shows shades of Blake Wheeler, longtime NHLer, was a captain of the Winnipeg Jets for a very long time, and Mikko Rantanen, that guy who scored a hat trick in Game 7, a playoff player who has had phenomenal seasons, scoring 100 points almost every year of his entire career. He's been phenomenal. And I think, again, if Martone is any of those three, whether it's a Blake Wheeler type player or a Mikko Rantanen type guy, absolutely I want this guy on my team. Absolutely. So, looking at some of his numbers here, the Elite Prospects, if you've been watching these, you guys know what I'm going to say, but Elite Prospects does these tool grades, which ranks them from a 1.0 to a 9.0 scale. It goes over like shooting, skating, senses, and all that stuff. So let's get right into it here. First off, his skating is a 5 out of 9. That's not too bad. I think it could be better, as I said, but I do think his speed is a lot better than people think it really is. His shooting, 7. That's very good. Again, a 7 in shooting out of 9 is very solid. And 8 in passing. This guy might be the best passer in the draft, honestly. He might be better than a guy like Michael Misa. I'm being completely honest by saying that in terms of just passing. His handling is a 7 as well. His sense is an 8. He has one of the better IQ players and the best vision in this draft. And then physicality could be a lot better. It's a 5.5, but even still, as I said, he has that little bit of like hard working to his game where he can like piss opponents off in a way. And I just love that from a guy like Porter Martone. And you look at some of these scout poll results that we've seen here from this guy. He has him number 1 in best vision, number 2 in best hands, number 2 in best offensive forwards, number 2 in highest ceiling, and then number 4 in best shots. So again, like, he has the second highest ceiling. He's the second best offensive forward, has the best vision. How are we seeing this guy drop out of the top 5 in mock drafts? I don't understand. Like, I know on the MVP and the Nordcast we had some draft that we did where he dropped, but like, are we serious right now? This guy has incredible numbers, and I don't know why we're seeing some rankings that has him like at like 6th or 7th. I would love him to go at 6th. I just don't know if I can see that, to be completely honest with you. So, reading a little bit here from the Elite Prospects Guide, let's just hop right in. Of the plethora of talented forwards in this draft, Porter Martone may have the highest scoring upside of them all. Playing next to the dynamic play-driving center, we could see him translate his OHL scoring. While Martone is known for a power forward, it's more accurate to describe him as a playmaker. It's his passing that he distinguished himself with the most this season, landing some of the most impressive feeds we've seen. Made instantly off a catch and with a high level of anticipation, many of those would have equally elite plays in the NHL. It all comes down to hockey sense, displaying every aspect that we look for when graduating that attribute. He finished with the highest mark in the draft class. The patterns of his game imprinted in his mind, constantly scanning the ice and knowing his teammates' tendencies, systems rotations, and the expected movements of his defenders. He stays connected with line mates, avoids coverage, and puts himself in advantage spots to make the next play. He builds draft passing plays, moves into the opposition, and preys on defenders and goalies' expectations, manipulating them to open up great scoring possibilities. So again, just like everything that we're hearing and seeing about this player, it's all there. And again, like, I'm going to say it once, I said it, I'm going to say it again. I don't know why we're seeing this guy drop so low in the draft. I don't know why we're seeing him drop out of the top 5. I have him at 3 for a reason. I think that I could see him going like 4 or 5, but this guy honestly should be top 3. If he's being compared to Matthew Tkachuk and he's putting up these numbers, in the OHL and just making the physicality plays, you got to take a chance on this guy. There's no doubt about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on Porter Martone. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like the video down below and subscribe if you're new. But anyways, that is it for me. We got Anton Frondell on Wednesday coming up. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.